Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
You and I are kind of similar. You may even be more good-hearted than me. I feel like you. Well,
but in our longing hearts, we're all the same.
Mutual respect and
yes.
A boundary might have been crossed that you, right?
That's
so
correct.
just an example
That's
of, it is a great example. I appreciate that for giving me the example to even quote them.
Let's be the change we want to see.
I've never seen differences negative. I've always been attracted to and intrigued by it. But we're looking for how are we similar? How are we the same? How can we all just get along?
We are links in a chain. Unimportant.
What's up, everyone?
Hey! Oh, y'all caught me cheating.
Yeah, it's crazy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are tuning in from. This is Working It Out Across Generations, the show where we talk all things conflict, big and small, try to give some generational perspectives as well as reconciliation tips and services and resources, all that good stuff. I'm one of your co-hosts, Justin.
And I am Dr. Lynn, your other co-host.
Awesome. And we have a really, really great episode today, a great guest for you today who's absolutely going to leave us with so much that we can take on for just the rest of this year. It's very trying times that we're in right now. And we know that, everyone could use just a little bit of extra hope, a little bit of extra motivation, a little bit of extra courage and courageous conversation. So that's exactly why we're here. And exactly why we're going to welcome in our guest in just a second.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Not just great at what she does, not just a servant. And I mean, she serves y'all like that, like the soul food where there's just huge portions and you're going to eat it all. That is who our special guest, Andrea Harrison, is. Now, I'm going to read just a little bit of her bio so you can get a little taste of what you are in for. First, you have to imagine a stage lit not just by spotlights, but by the sparkle of a woman who dazzles not only with her accessories, but with her joie de vivre, her joyful life. Enter Andrea Harrison, an entrepreneur, inspirational speaker, coach, writer, purpose pusher, that's my favorite. Comfort zone disruptor, second favorite. Chief shine officer, third favorite. And just a fun, loving, loyal, and loud girl from the Bronx. Woo! who only wants to make God smile. Once a steadfast paralegal in the heart of New York City, Andrea's script took a turn under the sun-kissed skies of Florida. Here, she traded courtrooms for creativity, launching an event decor business that soon had her name whispered across the Tampa Bay area as a master of ambiance and flair, leading her to become an award-winning designer, appearing on several local morning shows. I'm going to say this, just like an explosion, she was only beginning to erupt as God continued to push her into divine spaces where she became a top leader, building a multiple six-figure business in the network marketing space. Her life, much like a well-timed punchline, hits just at the right moment, teaching us the power of perseverance and faith. And now I got to say this part because they will not come for me if I don't. Now, envision Andrea not merely as an entrepreneur, but as a maestro of motivation on her own live show, Shine with Andrea. And through her sold out conferences that are less about seats filled and more about lives changed, she invites women to not just take their seat at the table, but to build the table themselves, inlaid with their own unique patterns of greatness. I mean, well, who better to come and talk about is in the conflict keeping you from showing up and shining than our own Andrea Harrison. Welcome her, y'all. Woo! Woo!
If the theater kid wasn't just set loose just now.
Hey, you gave me a script to work with. It was on fire, so I'm going to work it. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so happy that you are here. We're so excited. You have been such a loyal watcher of the show and then the advocate for the show, and you're always talking about us in the show, and it just is the right time to have you on because we got something special to show you toward the end that Andrea has done, because as you can hear from her bio, she just keeps doing and coming up with the next best thing for folks. So Andrea, we are happy that you are here with us.
Absolutely. I am excited. I am really excited, truly honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure's ours. Pleasure's ours. Now, my first question, because there's so much to attack from that, but you are a Bronx native. As we film this show, live in this show, and live our lives in the Bronx, right? So give us a little bit about what it was like for you growing up. Where'd you grow up? How was it? Who was there for that experience? Just start with the beginning of Andrea.
Well, if you want to start in the beginning, I was born in Albert Einstein Hospital.
Not then.
To my mom, who was a single mom, and we lived on Corsa Avenue. I don't know if you're familiar with the area between Given and Burke, up near Boston Road, Gun Hill Road, that area.
Yes.
I lived there on a tree-lined street with brick homes, attached homes, played out in the street, played stickball, monkey in the middle, double dutch. I enjoyed my childhood. I had lots of cousins, and my cousins would always come over to the house. As I got older, I was not allowed to leave the front porch without permission, without my mother knowing where I was going. I enjoyed my time in the Bronx. I grew up there. I went to school there. I went to college at City College of New York. I did some time at John Jay. And just a little bit of time at Lehman College.
All right there. We can walk to Lehman.
Yeah, we can.
Went to church there, went to dance school there, did so much of who I am today is because of where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be from the Bronx. I often say that I'm just a girl from the Bronx that wants to make God proud.
I love that. I love that. And we have a lot of your supporters and love in the comments for you right now. Your Shine crew is showing up. So it just goes to show.
As they always do.
Clearly doing something right with sticking to your foundation. That's awesome.
Yes. Well, you're the chief Shine officer for the Shine crew. Tell us about that. What's the origin story around that?
So basically, God was running behind me, telling me, listen, I want you to go live. I used to go live showing my product. And he said, nope, that's not what I want you to do. I want you to do something a little bit different. And he impressed upon my heart that he wanted me to share my heart with the people. And I didn't want to do it. And I said no for years. And I said no for years. And I said no for more years. And finally, someone out of the blue who had no idea what God had been talking to me about said to me, your heart was made to be poured out onto the people. And that struck a chord with me. She also said that God had not forgotten me. And then about 3 days later, I saw someone live talking about exactly what it was that God wanted me to do. She was already doing it. And just hearing her talk about it, remembering what the person said to me a few days before, I was definitely convicted. The next day I was live. I didn't want to do it. I still didn't want to do it. I was nervous about it. Yeah. Nothing was perfect. I didn't have StreamYard. I just went live straight on Facebook, vertical. And in fact, the first live, I told everyone, I don't even know if I'm coming back.
I remember.
I said, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow to see if I'm here. I was nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was capable of doing it. I didn't feel like I was enough. I felt like I was going to forget what I wanted to say, that I would open my mouth and nothing would come out. I was really nervous about it. And I expressed that to my friend Jamila, and she said, when you have nothing more to say, just tell him. That's all I got. And so that I live by that now. Yes. I say what I feel God has laid on my heart, and when I'm done, that's all I got.
Yes. Anybody resonate? I know there's folks resonating with, especially the, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. God's chasing me down. It's been years and now I'm doing it and I'm terrified. And I have to tell you, it is so funny because I knew you before you came live. We've known each other a while. And I always saw you as this person who could hop on and do a live with her eyes closed. So when I said, okay, she's nervous, but she's new at this. So when you start telling the story, I'm like, is she for real? Like, I saw you doing this way before anybody. I was like, wow.
I'm not a shy person.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to go live. If somebody put me in front of 1 million people at Madison Square Garden, which I know they can't hold that many, but I'm just saying, if somebody put me in front of a crowd of 1 million people, I would not be afraid to stand up there and to talk as long as I know what I'm saying. And so that was where it came in. I felt like I didn't have anything to say. What was I going to say? And would I say anything that anybody would want to hear? Would they stick around? Right. And to think that this is almost 2 years later.
Yeah.
I've been doing it.
Yeah, you talk about the example of inner conflict, right? I'm sure there are people who are having these same conversations. Some of y'all probably had that same conversation with yourself before you even came on here to watch this live. Your inner voices are telling you you're not enough. You don't know what you're talking about. I know I've certainly experienced it, and I still experience that. What about you, Justin?
Of course. I mean, I think it's a pretty, human thing, especially when it comes to stepping into your purpose, stepping into what you're supposed to be doing. And, I think that those things also change over time, right? So there's just so much unknown that you actually have to end up putting trust into. Oof. And that's not a easy thing to just blindly ask someone to do. It's even if you have an idea of what that person could really achieve in the end. So I completely understand, getting into that rabbit hole of that thinking, right? All it takes is one thought to feed the tens of thousands others right behind it that are going to support that same message, right? So you're speaking, I think, everyone's language right now. So as we're talking about inner conflict, right? We're getting into inner conflict. We're talking about the Shine crew, right? What do you want to say to those that are like struggling with this, that are really here in this place right now, in that rabbit hole, right? From what you've seen, from what you've done, from what you've been through yourself, just what do you want to say to those specifically struggling with this?
Well, first of all, I've been there, right? Been there, done that. Literally got the t-shirt. And
Literally.
you know, I can put it into an acronym. And this is an acronym that I came up with specifically for this topic of overcoming inner conflict to be able to show up fully. And before I even say that, we were all created by God. We are his masterpiece. He designed us specifically for the purpose that he had for us. So we all have something that it is that we need to do.
Yes.
How we do it is the difference between us all. But because of the things that we've gone through, the things that we've seen, the things that we've heard, the things that we've allowed to come into our heart, our mind, we tend to sometimes believe those things over believing the things that God says about us, that we're loved, we're beautiful, we're enough. And a lot of times we do things for other people in the sense, I didn't want to go live because of all the things that I listed for you, but that was all because, well, I didn't want anybody to talk about me. What are they going to say? What are they going to think? Right? So when you think about the acronym SHINE, the first letter is S, which stands for self-awareness. You have to acknowledge the internal battle. What are the thoughts? What are the fears? What are the doubts that hold you back? Usually, all of that stuff is right up here, right? Watching somebody else and seeing somebody else and saying, oh, wow, they do it well. I really admire them. Sometimes when it's your turn to step up on the stage, you think, tag, I can't do it like her. I can't do it like him. But God doesn't want that. He wants us to do it like us, the way that he built us, because there are people out there that were assigned to us for us to touch. And they're not going to hear their voice. They're not going to hear his voice. They're only going to hear ours. And that's why we have to show up authentically.
Yeah. And, I just want to say, I really believe that. I think that there are people that need to hear Justin's message from Justin. I could say the same words, but his anointing is for who, right? He's supposed to show up for, just like mine is.
Yeah. And I think one of those things for me that I internalized within my self-awareness, right? This piece of it, was somehow, for some reason, I wasn't able to accept within myself that, like, as you said, like, oh, like, I'm in this room and I'm watching this person doing this thing and it's my turn right after, but can I even hold up my end of the bargain, right? I realized, like, I thought to myself, wow, I don't even deserve to be in this space. Like, how am I even here? How am I even witnessing it myself? And then how am I even going to be asked to give that to someone else? And I got into that rabbit hole of, like, well, of course, within that, like, what am I doing here? What's my goal? What am I called to do? Right. And that so messed me up for so long that it became one of those things that I was honestly hyper aware of to look out for. Right. If I'm in these spaces where that comes up, I'm like, oh, wait, this is actually where I need to be. I'm actually taking the steps, the physical steps that I need to take in a direction that is so much more driven and written out than I even thought. And that all came from, challenging my own self around some of this stuff. And I think that even that in itself is a very hard step, right? But you named it out as your first one. And I think that's everything, right? It starts within us, right? So please continue.
No, you're absolutely right. And I just wanted to mention something. When I was a paralegal for over 25 years. And when I left my career as a paralegal and decided to, start my own business and do some other things, I became an entrepreneur. So when I went to meetings and stuff like that, I wasn't this paralegal with this big time job, this big time function. I had allowed for my title to define me. And so when I walked into these rooms that you were talking about, then all of a sudden I started to feel like, well, do I really belong here? I'm just an entrepreneur. And what I had to realize and work through is that people didn't care what my title was. They wanted what I brought to the table. What was I bringing to the table? What God placed inside of me. And that is my life's work. Like that, I want people to know that it doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how fluffy you are. It doesn't matter how slim you are. It doesn't matter what your hair looks like. None of that stuff matters to people who need hope, who need what you have. Your voice matters. You matter, and the world is waiting. We are sitting on the edge of our seat, waiting for you, because you are someone's answered prayer.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful.
So H,
yes,
is heal and honor. We have to heal the past wounds. We have to heal from the things that we've gone through. And we have to honor our journey. Self-compassion is key to moving forward. Sometimes we brush over those things. We don't take a moment to sit in it and say, you know what? That was tough. That hurt. Man, I'm really disappointed, but I made it through. I persevered. I got through it. I'm still here. And honor that.
Yes.
You're here for a reason. That didn't take you out.
Right.
Now what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
I feel like that's my entire life existence for me. It took a lot of time. I think the honoring piece, the heal, yes, but really being able to honestly show up to some of those re-triggering thoughts or re-triggering moments of life in a way of it kind of being like a shrine, like it's like telling us part of a story, a chapter of a story in which, you know, in these newfound ways of thinking, newfound ways of living or being, you know, you revisit to see, you know, just kind of like, you know, am I good from this? Like, is this something I can come back to and you know, look at this differently, feel from this differently, take from this differently.
Right.
And I think that, you know, I so resonate with H. I resonate with all of these letters, but I think H is so huge because, you know, hurt people, right? But and healing, we actually did an episode not long ago about, you know, like, is trauma really something that can be overcome, right? And just putting the question out there, even though we do believe for sure you can get to a place where you can revisit these things and the trigger might be just a little different in a way of like, instead of it triggers you to hide, to, you know, kind of be taken out of commission for however long, it triggers you to go do something, right? So it's all about just revisiting these things in these newfound places of your life and seeing what you can take from it. So,
and I'm gonna
love H.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No,
because your story is awesome.
Yeah,
I've watched him. And I am just in awe of the commitment to this H. Yes, I am. And I'm going to say, for those of you, look, I am going to be 67 years old this year.
Crazy.
I know.
I know, right? I'm her son, and I tell her that all the time. I'm like, that can't be right. Like,
this morning on Andrea's live, she was like, we're around the same age. I said, girl, I got like 15 years on you. She said, oh, stop it. So I said, okay, off camera. I was like, okay, how old are you? She told me her age, and I was just like, okay, 14. 14 years. All right, that was pretty close. But I'm going to say I'm just now healing a lot of my stuff. I really just now. So don't think it's too late. Do the work so you can show up and shine. Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of our comments are agreeing right now too. So
all right.
We're clearly
good.
Speaking of the same language. I love that. Yes.
So we can go to the I.
Yes, please.
Which is identify truth.
Awesome.
Which means we have to separate the facts from the fears. The facts from the lies, right? And so we ask ourselves, what limiting beliefs need to be replaced with empowering truths? So one of the things that comes to mind with this is, you know, I always say I'm my mother's choice when she didn't have one.
Mm.
And I remember specifically my father telling me that he did not want me, that I wasn't supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And for many years, that tormented me.
Mm.
And a lot of my decisions, a lot of my actions, it came from that mindset of the one person that should have been someone that I trusted. First of all, my mother couldn't trust. But second of all, for that person to say that to me, it was more than painful. It was more than hurtful. I can't even put a word on it that really describes what it did to me.
Yeah.
But it's not until recently, like you said, it took you so many years to heal. It's not until recently did I said to myself and realized, what am I going to believe? What truth am I going to believe? Am I going to believe the facts that I am my mother's choice? Or am I going to believe my father when he said, you weren't even supposed to be here?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to separate the facts from the fears, and you have to realize what those limiting beliefs, need to be replaced with empowering truths.
Yeah.
And so knowing that my mother chose me with everything she had to face.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 70s, my father was white.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was Black. Well, my mother is Black. And just thinking about the circumstances where we were in our country at that time, to know that she then had to raise me on her own. I mean, I have amazing aunts and uncles, and we had a very close-knit family, and so that was great. But she did it on her own while she was attending City College, and she did it on her own. And so you have to look at all the facts surrounding and say, what am I going to believe? Let me identify the truth for myself. It's so easy for us to walk around and say, you know what my father said to me? You know what my father said to me? You know what he did to me? But if we can reframe that and we think about the truth of the matter, that he did that. I'm not going to take that away from you. However, what did your mother do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Your mother chose you.
Mm-hmm.
And she sacrificed everything for you. And she gave you everything that she could. And she did everything that she could to make you who you are today.
Mm-hmm.
She chose you.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important that we identify it and realize, like I said, what limiting beliefs need to be replaced with empowering truths.
Oh gosh, I mean, these letters are just getting more and more. I'm loving. Oh my gosh. And I want to say to someone out there whose voices are kicking now, like, okay, but she had another side. She had her mother I don't have that. First of all, you have something within you that is meant to be served to others. Second of all, you still here. That's the truth. If you still here, that means you got something to give. And the other thing is that some of what you're believing as truth is simply lies that you're hearing from social media or just negative spaces. And that is where you got to identify the truth.
Absolutely.
Keep hitting us. Oh, yes.
So the N is nurture confidence. So you want to build daily habits that strengthen your courage and your self-belief. So doing things that are going to make you feel good about yourself, doing things that serve others, I think is a really good way to build daily habits and strengthen your courage and your self-belief, you believing in yourself, nurturing your confidence. Okay. And then I'll skip to the E, embody boldness. Take aligned action. Even small, consistent steps help you to show up and shine. And so I go back to what we talked about in the beginning with me showing up. It was something I didn't want to do. It was something I was afraid to do, but it was something that I chose to do afraid because I wanted to be obedient to God. I wanted to be obedient to my calling. And so when you embody that boldness and you take those small, consistent steps that help you to show up and shine, then what ends up happening is God says, I see you, I got you. We're going to do this together. And everything else that came afterwards was a blessing. He sent everything that I needed. He sent every person that I needed. The Shine Crew itself was birthed out of the comment section of my lives, of my daily lives.
Talk about that.
And so all of these people, God started sending my way that my voice resonated within them. And I've heard so many stories of people saying, man, you just showing up, especially on the days when you don't feel like being there. I mean, if you were there on Monday, then you saw, like, I literally could not even smile. I sat there and took my fingers and pushed my cheeks up to bring a smile.
Right.
Because everything that I'm going through right now is so heavy. Right? But if we can just take one step and put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, embody that boldness. You know, by the time it would have been very easy for me to just stay in my bed and cancel and not do it. What would I've gotten from that? What would my audience have missed? Right? But the fact that I did it, it did something for me. By the time I was done with the show, halfway through, really, I was smiling. I was upbeat. I felt better. But see, what happens is because it's so easy to be in that space, that negative space, that space where you want to complain. You just want to sit and talk. Girl, you know what happened? You know what I'm going through? Girl, I can't believe what he did to me. You know, and we want to sit in that space. But if we could change our mindset a little bit, embody boldness, leave all of that stinking thinking alone, not allow those toxic thoughts to lead us, and just say, you know what? I was born for purpose, on purpose. I'm here to do something, and every single day I'm going to make it count.
Yeah. And you know, Andrea has not even told you. Yes, God sent all the right people, but then Andrea gave them assignments. You go out and you go live and you start serving who God is going to send to you to serve. I cannot jump on Facebook without bumping into a Shine Crew member doing a live. I'm telling you, I can't keep up with it. And I love y'all. I want to be on every live. I cannot be, but I'm so proud. Every time I bump it, I'm like, oh my goodness, Andrea inspired this. And they will say that Andrea inspired this. So from that place of running from God, I'm not going to do this. I'm to jumping on and scared and nervous to other folks inspired and taking your command and going live. Come on, y'all. This is reaching somebody today. And you jump on live or whatever it is, opportunity that it is that has come your way that you have taught yourself out of. Do it. Yes.
Yeah, that leads me to another question, actually. Was there a specific moment when you realized after doing so much of your own work that it was time to, pass the torch, pass the teachings? Was that even a part of your assignment? Did you again have a specific moment where that came up, or was that something you always knew, even in your own work, that, oh, this is gold? Like I'm hating doing this right now for myself, but if I can do it, then I can just pass it on. Like, what was that moment like for you?
I don't know if it was a specific moment, but I know that the things that I've gone through, I didn't just go through it for myself. I know that the things that I've gone through, the things I've faced, the challenges, the hardships, all the different situations, things that come up, that it's there to shape, to make, to mold me, but that it, I believe very much in being authentic and being vulnerable and being transparent. And so that's the basis of my platform, is that, if I can share with you what helped me to get through, then maybe I can save you from some heartache. Maybe I can save you from some disappointment. And I'm just the type of person, just like I did with recently, a friend of mine asked me on January 1st to take 5 steps. From the pandemic, I've been sitting behind this computer, and the pandemic, it did a whammy on me. It did a whammy on all of us, right? And so everything that I did it behind the computer. I stayed in the house for 4 years. I didn't want anything to happen to my mother. So I didn't want to take the chance of me going out, of my daughter going out, and bringing something home. So I stayed home, and everything shifted for me. Everything changed. So when this person told me to do 5 steps, I didn't want to do it. I've gained so much weight. It's uncomfortable. I'm, short of breath sometimes when I walk, and I didn't want to do it. And I fussed about it. But I said, you know what? I can do 5 steps. Those 5 steps turned into me walking a half a mile several different days, just because I said yes. And then once I did the 5 steps, she said, I want you to post about it. Put it out there on Facebook. And I didn't want to do that either, because I said, man, I've done this before, been there, done that. Literally, I got the t-shirt. I had a t-shirt made that said hashtag every day is day one. And because I had done it, and in my mind, I feel I failed because I gained the weight back, and then I stopped walking because something traumatic happened. I said, I don't want to put it out there again, because then here we are thinking about what other people think. Oh, here she go again. She always doing this. Oh, yep. New Year resolution, whatever. And I knew I didn't want to feel embarrassed. I didn't want to hear what people were going to say. And I said, you know what? I get it. It's not for me. This ain't about me. It's about the people that I serve. It's about the people that watch, especially those that they don't let you know that they watching.
Yes.
And so I went ahead and I made a post about it. And now we had over 100 people sign up. And every day we have people that get in the Zoom room with us. My husband's a DJ, so he's playing music and he's hyping us up. And we're moving, we're walking, we're stretching, we're dancing. Everybody's doing it at their own pace. See, I'm the person who's going to say, come on, let's go. We're going to do this together. I did the same thing with the virtual worship experience. I had a breakthrough in a worship session that my husband did. And it happened to be at the end of our Zoom church session, but it happened for me in Zoom with worship. And I said, everybody needs this. What did I do? I started a whole Zoom virtual worship experience. We've done it twice already. And the amount of stories that come out of it and the people that say, I needed this. I know that we go through things. And especially when you have a following, no matter how big or small, we have to be good stewards of that. And I like to take people along for the ride. And I want people to experience what I've experienced, especially when it's good and it's going to be good for them.
Yeah, and I know y'all right now like, I wish I could take her home with me. Well, we got something extra special for you so you can take her home with you. Woohoo! Yes, it's our new book! Show up and shine. Check it out. Tell us about this, Andrea. What's the message in this book?
So I know that, like myself, I have tried to play small for the most part of my life. I've tried to play small. I've hung out in the shadows. A lot of times I hide who I am because I've been told I'm too loud. So then I don't want to be too loud. I stay quiet. I've been told so many different things, right? Like we were talking about in the beginning, that kept me hidden. And I realized that God put something special, really special inside of me, just like he's done for each and every one of us. And that is so important, especially after the experience that I had when God said, I need you to go live, and I need you to go live and share your heart with the people, which ultimately is his heart. Yeah. And I stand on the verse Psalm 81:10 that says, when you open your mouth, God is going to fill it with good things. And so this book, I've been toiling over it for the past 5 years. It's something that I started in the beginning of the pandemic. It had a totally different name, but because of the experience that I went through over the past almost 2 years, and because of what my platform is, and because I believe so much that we have to show up and shine. When God created the sun, when he created light, he gave us permission to shine. We don't need permission from man. We just need to show up. And so this book, it has a lot of me in it. It has a lot of me in it, a lot of personal stories. It has a lot. You want to know about my life in the Bronx? It's in there. Wow. You want to know about my life as a paralegal and how I got started in the legal field? It's in there. You want to know about how all of these stories helped me in becoming who I am? And then it teaches, one of the things that I love to teach as a certified branding coach is I love teaching about branding. I'm an experienced marketer. I'm a natural born promoter. And so all of that is wrapped up in this book. It's the busy woman's guide to bold visibility and faith-driven leadership. But I tell you, men are going to get something out of it as well. This book is for everybody.
Yes. And where can we get it? Because I don't think we have that info. Where can we get it?
shinewithandrea.com/books.
Okay.
More to come.
All right. So we can type that in and just throw that up.
It's open now for pre-orders. And once we get to 100 pre-orders, which we're almost there, I'm going to cut it off because the first 100 books that are ordered on pre-order will be autographed by me.
Okay. So it's shinewithandrea.com/books. All right. She put an S on that, y'all. So you know more is coming.
There's more to come.
Yes. We throwing it up now. There you go. Yes. Make sure you support. There's also, isn't there a PDF or something else that you're offering with that too? Or that was just it's the
no,
pre-order?
That's there. When you go there, you'll see it all. You can choose what you want, and there's more to come. I'm going to be talking a lot more about branding as well, and there's going to be a PDF that's going to follow for that as well.
That's awesome.
Wonderful. And the comments are blowing up with just love for you and your story. And I know that folks have gotten something so good. We're going to continue. We still got a little more time, but I already know, I'm expecting that I'm going to run into someone who watched this and they're doing their first whatever, if it's live or they're sitting down at the computer and they're writing their first few pages of their book, or they're just having that conversation with someone to encourage them. It doesn't matter. If you are being called to it, if there's an opportunity for you, listen, Andrea has taken you from this small, right? What she thought was a small idea. And look at all of the things that have come out of it. It's really quite amazing, Andrea. I mean, really and truly. And so I'm a mom, you're a mom. I'm just wondering, what's the effect on your daughter, Madison? What has this done, this iteration of your life? Because I know she's always been proud of you because you've just been rocking and rolling for the longest. But what's this iteration of your life, the obedience to God? What's that done for her?
Well, if you go back to when she was 7 years old, that's when I started my event and decor business. And because I started that business at 7 years old, she said, if mommy can start a business, I want to start a business too. And if you know her story, that was when she ended up taking photos, and she started with little girls and their dolls, and then that turned into photographing President Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, TD Jakes, right? So it went from seeing mommy do something to say, oh, I want to do that too. Well, that hasn't changed. And I think I think now it's not necessarily a business, but now with her in her last year of high school, and also dual enrolled as a college student, and the pressures of life, you know, the deadlines, the amount of work that she has to do. And then, you know, Madison can't just do anything and just do it, you know, just like regular. You know, she really works hard, and she does everything with excellence. And when tough times come up, I hear her say things like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to push past my quit. I hear her say things like, I have to be consistent. I still have to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that my example to her is that even in the tough times, even in the times where you don't want to show up, even in the times where you want to stay in your bed and just, you know, stay in fetal position under the covers, that you still have to show up and shine, whatever that means for you in your life. And so that's the way that I've seen it playing out for her as of recently. She definitely tries to get into everything. Madison was homeschooled. And so this last year and because of the pandemic, she was homeschooled. Right. So this last year that she's going to a public high school, Madison is taking all 4 years and putting it into 1 year. She's experiencing everything. She's doing band, she's doing drama, she's doing tennis, everything. She's photographing the soccer team. She's you know, on doing all sorts of things with the band, and you know, she's doing all the things.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of her. But at the same time, I see where my example is rubbing off on her. And, you know, there are times where she's like, Mommy, I just need to rest. I say, yeah, resting is important. And she'll rest. She'll spend the whole day in bed. And then she'll say, I feel bad that I feel like I didn't do anything. I said, Madison, you have a creative mind. And sometimes you just need to rest and not do anything at all. And so I think just all of these different things give her permission to be her best self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I love that.
I do too. This is just so good. If you can wrap it up in I won't say a sentence. You got, you know, we'll give you more than a sentence, but what's the message you want to make sure? I want to make sure I do not leave here without putting this out to folks.
I want people to get up, look in their mirror, and say, God, help me to see me the way that you see me. And I want you to write that down. Write down, and if I may, if you go to shinewithandrea.com/shine up, you will get declarations, 10 declarations that will help you to know how to show up and shine. You will also get tips on showing up and shining. Going live with a devotional, or not going live at all, but still showing up. I want people to look themselves in the mirror, and I want them to know who they are and whose they are. And I want them to take one foot and put it in front of the other, no matter what that is. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, knowing that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. But if you keep showing up and shining, eventually you're going to see that it's not just for you, but it's for everybody else that's watching that needs permission to show up and shine.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I have promised that I'm not going to touch any buttons, but Justin, just go to comments, just a couple, because you know I'm addicted to that. Oh, Gina, what's up, girl? Gina Parker Collins, yes. All right, Gina says thank you for shining and sharing. God is good. This is so helpful. Thankful for my mama. We will get through it. We are still here. Shine crew. Oh my goodness. Yay, Andrea. She is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Wow. We couldn't ask for more. I know there's so much more that we could get though. And I want to just make sure everybody goes and orders the book, show up for the lives, right? Shine Crew Live, Shine with Andrea is Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And just really come back here, of course, to the show, because you know we always have worthy guests and wonderful discussion. And Andrea got to see a little bit of the pre-show before she came on, and Justin and I. We live it. We live the truth.
You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I love your show, and I love the dynamics between the two of you. So you guys definitely have to come every Wednesday at 1:00 and hang out with these. I'll hang out with these two. I'm going to try and see if they will do some footage for you. What happens behind the scenes?
We already did some. Watch, I'm telling you, it's going to be on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube somewhere this week. Probably like an hour after we get over here, knowing Andrea, because she's quick to the draw. I love it. But we want to tell everybody where they can find you, reach out. So TikTok, yeah, y'all, come on and shine. Andrea's trying to get us to come back to TikTok. We probably will at Shine with Andrea. You can find her on Facebook.com, Shine with Andrea, Instagram.com, Chief Shine Officer, YouTube at Shine with Andrea. And then if you want to reach out to her by email, hello@shinewithandrea.com. Y'all got the name? Shine with Andrea?
I just want everybody to shine with me.
Talk about being consistent. We know why Madison is consistent. Well, Justin just said, what'd you say?
I love that. I didn't say anything else. I
love
anything
that.
spectacular. Just said I love it.
That's all right.
Yes, absolutely. And if you want to catch more Working It Out Across Generations, please, e360.com, Trajectory Channel, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. Check us out on Facebook, Working It Out TV show. Please, YouTube, Working It Out Across Generations. And if you'd like to reach out to us personally, Working It Out Across the Generations at e360tvlive.com. As we say, and as we know, Andrea, you definitely agree with and probably say yourselves, every like, every follow, every comment, every piece of engagement, every view, every share,
subscribe.
All of it means the world to us.
Yes.
Small is all here. We truly do live by that. All of this is building and amounting to something bigger and better. So please continue to rock with both of us. Andrea, coming from me, it's been nothing but a pleasure. I'm so grateful to know you personally, to continue to get to know you personally, let alone to have this building professional relationship grow. Can't wait. Yeah, you're here and you're not going anywhere. Can't wait to have you back. Absolutely. But everyone else, please, you know what we say about conflict. Conflict is here to teach you something about yourself. So go out there and find out what that is. This is Working It Out Across Generations. I'm Justin.
And I am Dr. Lynn.
And with Andrea, we'll see you next week.
Love you, Andrea. Love you, audience. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Place with a name, but in our In this world